Look at this. I got the color zinnias I was hoping for, both the yellow canary and the green envy. So I'm looking forward to seeing when these two plants bush out, how they would add joy to this corner of the garden. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abby, and I heartily welcome you to the Caribbean and to my container garden here in Trinidad and Tobago. This morning, we're going to be discussing why plant protection using bug netting is imperative in the tropics. Here we have a wide range of different animals who love our plants as much as we do, just that they like to eat it down to the nub without thinking about tomorrow. So we have all different types of pests. We have ants, we have birds, we have slugs, snails. Just recently, guys, I found out that a specific lizard that we thought was just a house lizard eats your plant. It ate majority of my cauliflower plants, and I was shocked when I recognized that that lizard actually has the audacity to come down and eat my cauliflower. Anyway, we're going to leave that for another day. This morning, I'm going to be encouraging fellow tropical gardeners, if they want to reduce a bit of stress from their garden, that they should use bug netting. Come, let me share with you some measures that I've put into place and where I've seen less stress here in the garden in Caribbean Channel. This is where I have my leafy greens, where I had my pak choys, my lettuces in this planter. Butterflies love to lay their eggs on your leafy greens, and that is every hour because there's so many butterflies. They just seem to want to procreate on your leafy greens, leaving you with none. So, what I found is using a hoop like setup with a bit of tulle or tool, whatever way you want to pronounce it, or bug netting reduced my stress greatly when it came to my leafy greens. No longer did I have to come out every day to check on the underside or on top of the leaves for butterfly eggs. And if you are growing your leafy greens here in the tropics, I highly recommend that you protect your leafy greens using a method similar to this. These pak choys are ready to be harvested. They are starting to go to seed, and quite frankly, I really need that hoop house for inside my greenhouse because, as I mentioned earlier, I have a new pest on the radar, a lizard. And so I've decided, I have some, let me bring you a little closer. I have some mustard greens in this planter. I was planning on keeping it in this planter, but I've decided that I'm going to plant it along with the cauliflower so that I can use that hoop in the greenhouse so that I could protect the remaining of my cauliflower from that lizard. This is also another way that I reduce pressure from the birds. This device is solar energized. It senses, it has like an infrared sensor so that when anything that's alive passes by, it makes a noise to scare away the birds. This was originally invented to scare deer away, and we had originally got it to help us with the rodent issue because on the streets, in the canals, in the drainage, there are lots and lots of rats. And I didn't want the rats to feel comfortable coming into the yard. And we placed it in areas where it worked. And so now we rarely have the rats coming in the yard. But I also have pressure coming from the sky. These birds are coming down and they are eating my precious Panama berry. Mm. Amazing. You're eating my precious Panama berry. I actually got to pick one just now. So I placed this here to scare the birds away so that we could start getting some of these beautiful berries from our shrub. But our prized possession, our melon vines, the birds love to come and feast on the leaves. And if the plant has no leaves, then it won't produce any fruit. So with all my might, I had to put some measures in place to protect them from the birds. If you can see it, this is a bird netting. This works well at keeping the birds away. And the good thing about it is that the bees can still get through the hole to the flowers, the honeybees, not the bumblebees, but the honeybees still can get in there and do a bit of pollination. Now I pulled this back as far as I can go because I wanted the vines to bush out a bit more without the restriction of the bug netting. And I've also put this in place to be like a backup plan for the bug netting. And it's been working out pretty good. We have now some tiger melons growing on this vine as well as some sugar baby, and I couldn't be more excited. One pest that is overlooked a lot is ants. Ants bring a whole host of other diseases. Well, I shouldn't say diseases. It brings a whole host of problems. First, you have the leaf cutting ant, the ant that comes and cuts away all your foliage, leaving your plant bare. Without the leaves, the plant will die. Some ants actually go and look for aphids and bring them to your plant, and they harvest the sap from the aphids, thus leaving your plant weaker and weaker by the day, and thus disease setting, and that's a problem. So, ants is a pest that, in my opinion, that should not be overlooked. That's why here in my yard stead, as you guys know, I do use things from the lab. I make sure and I spray around the perimeter of the house where I know the ants may be congregating, and for some reason it eradicates the ants in different areas. So I don't let the ants multiply over and over because we had a whole range of ants here. We had the leaf cutting ant, black ants, red ants, and the crazy ant. And now I have no ants, and right now not having a large infestation of aphids. So if you could find some method to control ants, I promise you, you would have a whole lot less problems in your garden if you have less ants. So you're probably saying, Abby, I don't have any bug nets. What other type of material can I use? Guys, every cloth store has tow. Any lightweight material that allows light to go through and wind because you don't want the plants to be, hot. It breeds fungus and fungus kills your plant. Anything that's breathable and lets light through, you can use as a protection over your plants. Look at this. Right here, I run out of bug netting to protect my pumpkin plant. I had this pumpkin plant in the corner here, guys, and remember I said it didn't do well. I left it. I didn't pull it out. And it did its thing, and now look, it's climbing where it's going, and I couldn't be more thrilled. But the birds are coming and they're chewing away at the leaves. And so I had to find some measure of protecting my pumpkin vine. So I just had this piece of BRC wire. It's not perfect, but it is deterring the birds right now from eating my tender young pumpkin leaves at the tippity top. That's what the bird likes to eat. And they decapitate the top of the vine and so the plant stops growing. All in all, guys, here in the tropics, we're going to have pests eat our plants. You're going to win some and you're going to lose some. Invest till it's rather inexpensive. Invest in large quantities and have it hanging around. I found that Don't they sound beautiful? They are beautiful to look at and to listen to, but they really do wreak havoc in your garden. It's a beautiful butterfly. They're so beautiful to look at. All in all, as I was saying, it's rather inexpensive to use the bug netting here in your garden. Whiteflies, stink bug, these are insects that sap the juices from your plant. The bug netting, the tow, works really well at keeping those at bay as well. Make sure that the grade of the cloth is fine enough to keep those whitefly out, and you will have no issues with these insects on your plants. When it's time to raise that insect netting off because some plants are flowering, by then those whiteflies would have given up and gone to something else. Guys, I just know that gardening in the tropics is not an easy task. It's not simple as people may think because we have sunshine all year round. We have extreme dries and extreme wets. They're gorgeous. They're really, really gorgeous and they serve a purpose. But they also can get out of hand here in the garden. So over here, I have some seedlings started. These are some mustard greens. So I'm going to take these out now and I'm going to transplant them inside the greenhouse along with the cauliflower. I have some adjustments to make and then I'm going to rip out all of the pak choy and I have some saltfish inside. I'm going to make some saltfish bojao, a whole bunch of it, and put it in the freezer, portion it out, put it in the freezer for when I want to have something quick. I don't want to go through a whole lot. So let's get into doing that. When my grandmother was alive, she used to use this. She said it's called shine bush. Call it shine bush. And she said it was good to, draw and drink to help reduce parasite load in your body, worms. I'm going to keep this and I'm going to draw it for myself. So these are the mustard greens. I was going to plant it out here, but out here gets a whole lot more sun. And I'm thinking to plant those plants that really like a lot of direct sunlight out here in this planter. And the mustard green is more forgiving. It will grow well in partial shade. And get me a container to put them in. So when these are about a month old, I will restart some seedlings for pak choy, and I will plant those seedlings, those new pak choy seedlings I have in the future in what I had the bean tower. The beans, they grew to a point and then they just stopped growing. I'll show you that in the next garden tour. So we're in the greenhouse now and I want to share with you guys the measures I had to take in order to protect the remaining of my cauliflower. So I had to take pieces of tow and wrap around this cauliflower plant to protect it from the lizard. This lizard decimated my cauliflower seedlings. It's really sad. But now that I know that he exists, I know next time that if I'm putting out seedlings, even though in this greenhouse, I need to put something out for lizards. because the bug netting on the greenhouse was to protect it from the white fly, the butterflies, all the other flies, the leaf miner fly, and that worked really well. I have no leaf miner, I have no aphids, and the seedlings were pretty all right. But the lizard came and ate all most of them. And so I'm going to put now additional measures in place in order to protect them from this lizard. So I'm going to put some, I'm going to put the mustard greens down on this end, and then I will take the seedlings that are behind me and transplant them. The cauliflower seedling that are behind me, I'm gonna take those out and transplant them here where they will get the protection that they need to keep living. Yeah, so that's all part of gardening in the tropics, guys. That's all part of gardening in general. You're gonna have sometimes you feel like you win none. You're gonna have a lot of pressure from insects. But don't give up gardening because you have those issues. Find a way around it and put those protective measures in place. Guys, I want to thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you enjoyed today's videos and my tips and tricks on how to keep pests off of your garden, even though you may not win all, you may win the most of them. Let me know in the comment section what you're using in your garden, and let me know if you enjoyed today's video. Thank you again so much. Those of you who have subscribed, I really appreciate you. And those who are watching and who have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and give us some support here in Caribbean Charm. See you guys in the next one. Bye.